Welcome to the Untitled Podcast. I'm one half of your host, Stonewall Craft, alongside my boy, Lorenzo Rocha. What up?
Talk to me nicely.
What is wrong with you?
I want you to finish it.
Oh, when I pull up on stage, I'm talking spicy. That dude Saint Laurent, that shit pricey. I told Carol I would not cuss as much in this episode.
Yeah, you do have the potty mouth.
But I was good. Yeah. Frick school, dude.
Got a little drinky poo in you now?
Bo Bandy?
A drinky poo, Bo Bandy?
Okay. So, to start off, I just want to say, school sucks.
10-page paper due tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, that I didn't know about till yesterday.
Yeah,
I was I can go to this class like in person, but I'm like, if I can just Zoom it, I might as well Zoom it. Everything else is on Zoom, so I'm not gonna like go away to camp. And it's a late class. So I don't want to go all the way to campus at 4:55 because who scheduled that?
Yeah, for one class. I have one class on campus and it sucks just going for one.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm just gonna like just Zoom it because I mean you can do that. Like they don't like I could just be like, I don't feel comfortable being around all you nasty ass petri dish.
We don't have that option.
Well, we can just does he not Zoom the class like when it's going on? Oh, does he teach the same class twice? Are you guys split?
Yeah, so he'll record lectures, but they're not like live Zoom when he's doing it. Does that make sense?
Oh,
like
he'll record lectures. He'll
record lectures, and if you're like actually excused from class, then he'll send you them, but you can't just watch them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can just join the Zoom call because.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going all the way to campus.
And there's some professors that are doing that, but some that don't.
Yeah.
Even though Cranky's dope, he's kind of a Jew.
What?
I put that on the internet.
So anyway,
see, Cranky, if you're watching this, I love
big fan of Hoop Dreams. Anyway, that dude's so dope.
He is dope.
And you don't get to see his stash though, so
that is
on the reg.
True.
That's part of his.
Well, I do get to see his stash because he does recordings for that other class.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Other media.
You have to, twice. Anyway, so I'm sitting in this Zoom class, and he's like, I was gonna do the accent. I can't. Can't put that in the other.
Doesn't really have an accent, does he?
Not Cranky.
Oh, okay.
It's somebody else.
Okay,
it's somebody else.
Okay.
It's this Indian professor I have, but he has a mask on and he has a thick Indian accent, so it just compounds the accent. Anyway, he's like, "Yeah, you have a 10-page paper due Wednesday. Just like remind you of that." I was sitting in Zoom like, "What?
This is a joke." Since
you're
when?
lying.
Since today? We have a 10-page paper due since today.
Today o'clock? Anyway, that sucks. And the final starts tomorrow night, so I'm going to try to have it done before then so I can enjoy.
That'd be ideal.
We'll talk about the finals later. We're doing a little intro spiel. We usually just shoot shit, talk about whatever. What? I'm going to skip. I'm going to skip that second point. See?
Yeah, why?
Okay, because it's going to be one second. Let's talk about Among Us.
What do you mean?
You want to talk about Legend of Korra?
What's wrong with it?
Nothing. I
just watched some of it.
Okay, let's talk about Legend of Korra. That's what I've been watching. What do you think about it?
I mean, I've only seen the first
4
or 5 episodes.
For people that don't know, the sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender
is The Legend of Korra.
From your initial thoughts, who's your favorite character in Korra? How many episodes have you seen?
It has to be Korra. I don't know.
You think?
Aang's son's pretty dope.
Tenzin is by far the best character.
Tenzin is pretty dope.
He gets even better. He's like okay.
I didn't think he's still a big character.
He's huge, yeah. He's still a main character.
I just figured it was kind of the first season's like mentor character.
No, You know who voices him?
No.
J.K. Simmons. You know who that is?
Yes.
I need pictures of Spider-Man.
If I heard it, I'd probably recognize it now.
But he does like a weird voice when he does him. But yeah, he's by far the best character. And okay, I remember when it first came out, my gripe with Legend of Korra was it's not The Last Airbender. It's like a different series.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of just have to get over that and just like Bolin, dope.
Well, like I told you, like for me, when I watched it, it was pretty close to when I had just finished Avatar, and then going to that,
just so much so fast. Like it's already over.
It's over, and they tell you all this stuff that happened. Aang dies, and everyone's dead basically except for Katara. I'm like, damn, this is the universe I'm living in right now. dead all my favorite characters.
So, okay, I see what you're saying, that everyone's dead, but they're not. They just don't talk about anyone else, so in your head, you, like, assume they're dead. Aang and Sokka are the only people that are dead. The rest of Team Avatar's alive. Does blow your mind? So
I guess that does make sense. They didn't really say other people were dead.
I know. Exactly. That's so when I first watched it, that was my gripe, was like, everyone's just dead? Like,
yeah.
And then Toph's daughter's dope.
Right.
Like, okay, first season's really good.
It is kind of a B word.
I can't say it because Carol's listening.
We're doing it for Carol. Doing it for you, Carol.
So, yeah, Legend of Korra, first season, dope. Second season, kind of weird. So, what do you think the title of the second season is?
The title?
Yeah, like Book 1, Air. Book 2,
Metal.
Spirits. It goes air, spirits, change, balance.
It's there 4.
Yeah.
In this one.
But there's only 13 episodes, so it's basically like the same amount of content. I just wanted a sequel. Well, my fiance was even talking about, I just want more like Team Avatar. And I was like, they never thought they were going to make another series, so they just made comic books. So like the story's out there, you just got to read in a comic book. Like all of Zuko's like mother stuff, that's in a comic book.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, because they kind of like teased, it was kind of a cliffhanger at the end of like Last Airbender.
When he goes off to...
Yeah.
Well, he asks his father, like,
Where's my mom? Because apparently she's alive.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Legend of Korra, though, pretty good. It's just like you get in the expectations like Korra's going to be like Aang. But Aang's the only Avatar I've actually known. And Roku is pretty similar to him in like personality-wise. Korra's just totally different.
Yeah.
Because she was firebender, air, like doing all the elements except for air when she was 4.
Right.
Like, what?
A straight prodigy.
Yeah, so that's part of it. And it's like a totally different world. I was telling Peyton, like, think about how, like, our world was when everything was connected. That's how it is now.
Yeah.
Like, so they're just, everyone is just better benders in general just because they know so much information.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there's a little Korra tangent. Was going to do it, but we did it for the pod. We did it for the culture.
I wanted to know, too.
Okay, Among Us.
The biggest game in the history of games.
Can you think of any other game that's taken this long to blow up? It came out 2 years ago. Can you think of anything? I can't. Maybe Jack in the Box?
No.
But even then, like...
It didn't really blow up the way this did.
Yeah.
Or has.
Everybody's
I can't think
it.
of anything.
And it's so easy because, like, we don't have PCs. You have to play it on PC. Well, okay.
You have to play it on Windows.
Yeah, mainly the player base plays on like Windows and PC and stuff. And so honestly, the thing that Among Us has showed me is that the Discord app is insane. Like, it's just so good.
It's such
the best form of communication in anything, I think.
Far. Yeah.
Like, not even close.
It's just so versatile, and then the ability to have servers and all those gaming communities that are built, and we can go in, search any game. There's a community of people that are in it, and you can connect with people and play with people.
Yes.
That you otherwise wouldn't be able to for any game.
Any game.
Literally anything. It's a huge community.
Well, I was just telling everybody on the Discord, like, it's literally its own form of social media.
Yeah.
Like,
basically.
Because
even more than just games, but games are a big part of it.
Yeah, like, so we were in everything has a Discord. Like,
we use a Discord to record this pod. Like,
we do.
That's how we bring this to you, except for today. Yeah,
I think that might be gone. I think this might be the new regular, because the Same Room episode part 2 is upon us. So I think this is the new norm.
The Same Room just hits different.
It really does. And we just have a better setup for it now than we did back then. We have a better mic, better computer.
More space.
We have our own office.
I'm not sitting on Stonewall's bed.
No, you're not. From humble beginnings.
I'm not laying back in Kemba's piss.
You might be. He did piss right here when you greeted him. So yeah, Among Us is dope.
So fun, dude. Such a simple game. And I was talking to Xavier. Do you think the game's gonna last? Like, do you think it's gonna be?
No, I think it's like just a social. Like, no one. There's gonna hit a point like it's gonna get too people are gonna get too good. You know what I mean? Like it's kind. I don't know if you ever heard of Town of Salem, but it's kind of like that. It's like a similar type game, like murder mystery style. People are just gonna get too into it. Like, I mean, we were playing with our friend Sean, and I was kind of getting sick of playing with them. like if you
heard imposter much?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people can be so toxic in that. I mean, that's when you think of any game that lives its life cycle. What kills it? Toxic players.
Yeah,
and that's the appeal of this game. So I think it's probably gonna fade, but it's still fun. Like,
yeah, I mean, so far we've played it probably 3-4 times.
We've had like 3 good like sessions,
and it hasn't. If anything, it's just gotten more fun. It hasn't gotten less fun for me, and that's because we haven't even touched the other maps.
Yeah,
which bring up that's
a whole nother.
That's game. A whole new like level of like movement.
Yeah, because you're just so used
the map
to
layouts are different, and then. Like I told Xavier, I think the biggest appeal of this game is it's obviously the social part.
Yeah,
it's the gameplay,
but it's the genius of it is the social part is limited. So when you do talk to people, it's like a big deal,
and it matters. Yeah. The gameplay behind it isn't necessarily anything groundbreaking.
Do you want to explain the gameplay real quick, or you want me to? Or
yeah, so you play. Best way it plays with 10, but you can play with any number of players up to 10. There's basically divides the player base into 2 groups. So there's crewmates and then imposters. There can be anywhere from like 1 to 3 imposters among the group. Crewmates are trying to do tasks around the ship and
to fix the ship, cause it's
right to fix the ship to be able to win. And as the imposter, you go around and you're trying to kill the crewmates without being caught. So if you come across a dead body, you can report it, which will take the whole group to a meeting, and then you kind of discuss what happened, what played out, where you found the body, that kind of stuff, to try to
who you think did it,
find out who killed it. Simplest
terms, like you're trying to figure out who killed them.
Yeah, it's just a murder mystery, like social deduction game. And there's some other things you can do as an imposter, like sabotaging the ship and venting to get like quick access to different parts of the map.
That only like imposters can do. So,
but yeah, it's pretty basic, like gameplay wise.
I've been begging Peyton to play it.
Yeah, it's so simple. Like in terms of gameplay, it's not like Call of Duty where you got to be a god on the sticks.
Yeah,
like you can just sit back and play this game. Most of the majority of the fun comes from trying to decipher who killed the people, and like just discussing that way.
Yeah, it's a social game at the end of the day. It's not like a. I mean, there is skill, but if you lose a game, like it's not that big.
Right.
Unless you have Sean Farley of Seattle, Washington, just thinking he's 10,000 IQ and playing with Sean. That's all I can say.
Sean, I don't know if you listen to this, bro, but you just need to shut up sometimes.
I mean, I think we covered Among Us. So fun. And like...
surprise hit of 2020. Nobody thought this was happening.
Well, and it's like, I haven't stayed up until like 3 a.m. playing a game since high school. I mean, not freshman year of my college, but that's just because our sleep schedules are so like discombobulated. I'm on China time.
Let's be honest. If I'm staying up till 3, it's kind of hard for you to not stay up till 3.
Yeah, that was the thing too. Like if one of us stayed up, we all stayed up, and it was kind of hard to sleep there anyway.
And no job. And could it be any better?
Fuck right though. Anyway, here's. Carol, a little expletive coming. Beware. Can I order a fucking PlayStation 5?
No, you can't.
That's all I want.
It's not looking good. I was actually seeing some news that some pre-orders are being delayed until 2021.
So I saw people that like pre-ordered through Amazon. I think, I've only seen an Amazon problem so far, but if you ordered it through Amazon, like, and you expected it to be on launch,
it's not gonna.
They sent you an email like, "Hey, not gonna be there at launch."
Yeah.
What? I just gave you my credit card information and 3 wacky numbers on the back. I'm not even gonna get it when I want
it. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. There's been a lot of reports about like PlayStation not some sort of like chip problem that's like cutting back their supply of PS4s.
So how much? Okay, this has been a problem every console release. It was a problem. I mean, PS2, it was just like the demand wasn't there. PS3 kind of the same thing. I got a PS3 on launch because like that was my early Christmas present.
Nobody wanted a PS3 at launch because it cost $600.
That is true. That was wild because the Blu-ray was so expensive.
And that was the base one.
Yeah.
There was an even more expensive.
That thing was a tank. That thing was this big.
Yeah, I know.
My hands are a foot apart, Pod.
I had a fat PS3 like that.
Did you?
Never played it. I played Call of Duty 3 and I think a Transformers game on it.
Huh. Anyway, then the PS4 is probably the first big hit. And honestly, like, went kind of smooth.
Well,
it was
the PS2 was a massive hit.
I just not understand. But, like, it's just different. Like, that's, like, back then, a big launch is different than right now. Like, how connected everyone, like, how accessible, like, getting it is. Like, if you weren't getting a PS, like, people were waiting to get a PS2. Like, they weren't, I mean, people were standing in line at Best Buy getting a ticket. That's how it was. Like, if you wanted it, you had to be there at midnight.
Yeah.
PS4 was kind of a disaster, too. And you thought they'd learn from that. I think a lot of it, I don't know if you agree, is from COVID. Like, they just don't have the supply.
Well, and a lot of times people would go to stores and pre-order, too. You can't really do that. Or at least a lot of people aren't willing to do that. A lot of it's online. So when those pre-orders, somebody mishandled it because they said pre-orders were going live the next day.
Well, no, you know who mishandled it? Walmart. They said, fuck it, we're just going live.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's on both because there was obviously no coordination between Sony and the retailers.
Well, if you're a retailer, you don't have to wait on Sony. Like, you can put your pre-orders up whenever.
I get that, but like it's like a partnership. Like,
I understand.
With Microsoft, their stuff went live when it was supposed to. Granted, that was also a shit show because
but
so many people are trafficking to the websites.
And it just happened 2 weeks after the fiasco that was the PlayStation 5. So, I mean, they couldn't have just done the same thing because, like, Walmart couldn't have done the same thing again because it was a shit show. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I think they had the benefit of going live later.
They already had announced their dates, though, before.
And I think
pre-order date before Sony even came out and said that they were available.
And I think the demand for PS5 is higher than Xbox, personally. I don't know if...
That's worldwide, yes.
Because
the US is actually pretty balanced.
Yeah, I get that, but just PlayStation is global or Xbox. Yeah. I mean, it is, but not... Like, you're not hitting Japan.
No.
Like you are.
Not at all.
Not even close. That's why PlayStation's better. I can't wait for you to join the family. So excited.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, dude. I want to get a digital one.
Slim. You said... Didn't you say it was like 60-40, like...
75-25.
Damn!
25% digital, 75%.
Why would they do that? I'm guessing they don't want to kill, like... If it was like 50-50, you'd kind of kill the physical game market.
That's what they... From, like, stuff I've watched and seen, that's what, like, Sony was...
worried about?
That's what Sony was, like, giving out for their pre-orders, quote-unquote. So, like, 75% of their stock would be the physical disc.
Even though everybody wants the digital?
Yeah. So, it could be different at launch, like, when, more stock comes in, but at least for the pre-orders, that was the split.
I've just conceded that I'm probably not going to get one on launch. Like, just because it's going to be impossible.
Well, I feel pretty good about myself because I work at Target. And I can probably bag one before anybody else.
Yeah, that is. Like, because Black Friday is going to be... Is it coming out before?
I just got to make sure I'm here. Because, it's coming out before Black Friday.
Because they're probably going to get re-upped, and there's for sure going to be in-store PS5s, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be insane.
Dude. So, I've got to save up money because I need to be able to buy this thing.
Yeah.
Before I go back home for Thanksgiving. Because once I go home for Thanksgiving, I'm going to be home for 2 months. Until...
Oh, you're going home? Like, you're not coming back?
Because I'm working at Hollywood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's moolah.
Just dropped a bomb on me like that? On the pod? I think we might have to end. He just dropped a bomb!
Peace! No, but, I'm going home to work, so I'm not going to have that inside connection once I go back. At least until I get back. But, best case scenario, I get one early. If somehow you still don't have one when I get back, I can probably get you one.
Say less. Say less. That's what I like to hear.
Because the quantities... So we got a lot of Switches in stock recently.
Mm-hmm.
And...
It was hard to get a Switch, though, at launch, wasn't it? Like, there was... I don't
really remember how the launch went. But,
So you worked at Target at launch, right?
No. Oh. That was this spring of our senior year of high school.
Damn. Switch has been out that long?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
But, they're, like, limiting the amount of Switches people can buy to 2. Because these Switches we got in were the limited edition, like, Animal Crossing
people are just going
to
buy a shit ton and resell it.
So, yeah, some AP dude that works at Target was telling me they got in, like, I think 7 or 8 of them, and some dude came in, saw them, wanted to buy all of them. Wanted to. They didn't let him. They let him take 2 at most.
We have this thing. Okay.
So I don't know what their limit's going to be for the PS5s.
It's going to be 1. It's going to be 1.
If I can get 2.
You're not going to be able to.
I work there. If I can get 2.
Then we're golden.
Brad sucked me off.
Oh my god. Carol is listening. So.
Not literally. That's just a figure of speech.
I don't remember what I was going to say. I'm throwing off. Oh, at Dick's.
Wouldn't it be the other way around?
At Dick's, we have, like, sometimes, like, we get these Olympic weight sets in, like 300 pounds, like, is everything, like the bar, then you get a bunch of weights.
You want to hook me up with one of those?
They're like $300. Honestly, not that bad. But this one dude was like, yeah, can I buy like 5 of them? My manager, like, that works in the back, was just like, no. Like, on the phone, he's like, no, you can't. Like, there's no limit on them, like, technically. But, I mean, my boss is kind of a Jew bag.
Kind of cack.
Yes. And he's like, no, buy 2. I'm just like, okay, whatever. But it sucks because that's who had to load him.
This guy.
Me. Because everyone's like, hey, can someone, like, load this treadmill? I guess. Like,
what else am I going to do?
You made the purchase. I'm not going to get the credit. Like, if they do the survey,
bro,
I'm not going to get the credit for it. So I'll grab it for you. Don't worry. I got you. Yeah. Anyway. Big event happening tonight. We're recording this on the 29th of September.
Stonewall's writing his 10-page paper. Keep it in the books.
And it's good. This pod's probably going to be dated by... It's definitely going to be dated by tomorrow when we talk about this. Because this already happened. But the debates are tonight. And I told you before we started recording, who fucking knows what's going to happen? Could, like... Joe Biden... could literally just combust. He could talk. He could just go on a rant.
Joe Biden's his worst enemy here. Let's be honest.
You can't beat yourself. That's literally like
just don't beat yourself.
If we're in the war room, bro. If we're in the war room, if I'm his team, if I'm the chief of staff, I'm looking at him like, yo, you cannot just go off on one of your old man tangents because people think you're crazy.
Literally.
Like, okay, if this was happening 4 years ago, if the Democratic Party as like a whole was like, no, we're not doing Hillary. I get we promised the position to her when she got spanked by Obama. That was unexpected because she was supposed to get it in 2008. But then Obama, like, you know, the cult of personality that is Barack Obama. I mean, he's probably gonna go down in history as top 10 president, which is crazy,
probably, bro.
But just like the impact he's had on like our generation,
take it for granted.
I like the modern day JFK, bro. Like. Anyway, like they promised her, Obama goes in, gives her the Stone Cold Stunner. Hillary's supposed to get it, but everyone wants Biden. Like, if you really want to do it, Biden can do it now. But then he's like, no, Hillary's got it. But then 4 years later, you know what happens in 4 years to a 72-year-old guy? You become 76.
Yep.
That's the big problem.
That's huge.
You become senile. And it's just a bad look for the brand, for the Democratic Party brand. So, honest, I told Peyton before she left, I was like, would not be surprised if Donald Trump just goes in tonight. It just makes him look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Which is a high possibility. Unfortunate for the United States of America, but that's a reality that could happen.
I was talking to you about this tweet I saw earlier. Biden just slaps down $750 on Trump's stand and says next year's on me, bud. that blow it open.
Kind of crazy that we paid more taxes than our president.
Kind of crazy I paid 3 times as much in taxes than our president.
Hey, but he took heavy losses, even though he had like $26 million in consulting fees that he fucking took on his taxes. What's that even mean?
I don't know.
Are you consulting Ivanka Trump? Like, there's $26 million. Give it back to me later. God. Okay.
Cranky was kind of talking about that a little bit today.
What blows my mind, bro, is that these like lower middle class white people are like, that's my champion. What are you talking about? He's exploiting you to get what he wants. Oh my god. That's why, like, U.S. politics just fucking sucks.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Literally the worst.
Kanye 2020.
The birthday
what are you gonna
party.
do if I vote Kanye?
I mean, our vote doesn't matter. We live in Indiana, so.
Damn.
We've been gerrymandered to not matter, so. Tough reality of living in a deep red state.
Is it time to abolish the Electoral College? No.
I mean, it didn't make... Okay, you want to know why they did it in the first place? Because they didn't want poor people to vote. And now, like, I don't know if you're aware of this. U.S. Constitution is very outdated.
Yes.
Very outdated.
What, at this point? 300-year-old document almost?
I mean, even like the First Amendment's outdated. Like, honestly, the First Amendment just protects huge media corporations. But, I mean, that's what you get when you get a pure capitalistic society. Anyway. The debates tonight, who knows? Biden could literally have a stroke up there.
He really could, and that's just the...
Yeah. Hold up, checking my phone.
Update.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, let's move on. Wait, or do you want to do your thing?
Yeah, so in the lesser known world of professional sports, the NHL still exists, if anybody forgot. Because I did.
I almost spit.
Tampa Bay Lightning. They won the Stanley Cup in 6 games, I believe. And that's about the extent that I know of that. I didn't even know it was happening. I think Stonewall told me the other day that he just found out the Stanley Cup Finals were going on, and they were like 4 games in.
It was like, I don't remember who it was, but they're like, so-and-so forces game 6 in overtime.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
This is going on?
Why am I getting a Bleach Report notification about them forcing a game 6? Like, what? So you're down 3-1? I don't care.
So that's all I wanted to say. I mean, that's...
Who won? The Tampa Bay Lightning?
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Before the pod, you're like, hey, I want to shout out Tampa Bay Lightning for winning. I told you I had no clue. They won.
Well, I saw it on Twitter a little bit. But yeah, I just thought about that. I was like, man, this whole time we're wrapped up in the bubble, wrapped up in football.
Wrapped
up in the mess that is college football.
Yeah, the Big Ten entered the rankings somehow. They haven't played a fucking game.
I'm spending too much time trashing on the MLB that I don't even have time to appreciate
the great sport of hockey. Hey, good segue into the MLB. I was telling you this. There's 8 teams in each league this year. Usually 5, and the first round is like so the 5, but 2 of those teams are playing like a best of 1.
Yeah.
But now everyone's in the wild card, is what they're calling it technically. Best of 3s all around, so
that's pretty.
It's gonna be dope. I mean, Marlins versus Cubs. Marlins are hot. Jeter single-handedly talked to everybody in the Marlins. Was like, congratulations. I don't know if you're aware. Derek Jeter, owner of the Marlins.
Yes. Not that much.
But I don't know if he's the owner or like running. I don't know. Who knows? Baseball. Who cares?
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
But the Cubs should beat the Marlins. Honestly, I think the Cubs might have a chance to win the World Series. I was telling our good friend Chad last night, like, biggest asterisk title maybe ever in anything. Because
the baseball title?
Yeah, because you're playing half as many games in the regular season, then you're just jumping into a best of 3, a playoff format that's never been done.
Yeah.
At least like the NBA, they came back and went to what's normal. I'm sure, yeah, they had that one playoff like playing game, but I mean, who cares? Like, that's the 8 seed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I heard the Blazers were playing like a 3 seed.
All right, we'll talk about that later. NFL, the sport you suddenly care about again.
Well, it's week 3. I might as well get in. So last night, the NFL finally graces ESPN with a good game. Lamar versus Mahomes. What was your biggest takeaway from Chiefs Ravens last night?
What I expected to happen happened. Mahomes went nuts, especially in the first half. Lamar Jackson choked. Straight choke job.
I get Lamar didn't play well. I reached for him in fantasy this year. Fuck me. First of all. And then
it'll help you out at the end of the season. You just gotta get there.
Will it? Because I have to get there.
That's what I just said.
I mean, I'm 0-3. These kind of matter now.
You're gonna be 0-4.
If I was like 1-2, I was like, okay, beginning of the year. I'm 0-3.
Prepare for 0-4.
I'm done with fantasy this year. Just kidding.
You can't see my eyes, but they got huge.
Okay, Mahomes, best football player in the world. Clearly. Lamar Jackson, I keep hearing how good he is, that this is going to be Brady, like the new Brady Manning. We've been looking for that since then.
It really is Brady Manning, though. Fuck, Mahomes bagging on Manning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes bagging on Lamar.
The new Manning. So, I'm just saying, I keep hearing about, like, we were even talking last week. You said the Ravens were the best team in football, right? In your rankings?
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, okay, if they play the Super Bowl,
I like the Chiefs.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you're picking Mahomes. Like, I don't care.
Look.
Oh, that has to be taken into account. We have the best quarterback of this generation. That has to trump everything else, because it's not like basketball where, like, okay, you have 10 good players. If you have the one good player that's the quarterback, everybody runs through the quarterback.
So the storyline
that's got to be different.
The storyline of last night, obviously Mahomes. You expect Mahomes to do that. You don't expect anyone to stop him. The Chiefs' defense stepped up in a way that they hadn't all season and limited
the
Lamar
long
Jackson.
Season that is.
Because you can expect to get in exactly. You can expect to get in a shootout with Mahomes, and that's something you can expect. But you can't, at least going into this game, you didn't expect Kansas City's defense to shut down the Chiefs or the Ravens' offense like that. Especially in the first half.
I understand that. But don't you... We've been talking about Lamar, that he's at a level, like an upper echelon. Don't you hit a point, like as a quarterback, where it doesn't matter what the defense is doing? You will impose your will. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking about Lamar being that type of quarterback, and he's just not.
Like, he's only 23.
I understand that. But all I heard last year is how the Ravens built this offense around him, and they're the best thing since sliced bread. While Pat Mahomes is literally next to him, just hurt. You know, like,
yeah, it's all about the narratives.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, is Lamar Jackson actually this?
No,
I don't think he is. But so we should put an end to it right now. All the talk that he is, because he is not. I get this is just week 3. But it reaches a point, if you're that elite, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed. Yeah, it's just, you can bring up so many points, but I guess that's a nice way to summarize it.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson imposing his will. Like.
Rodgers imposing his will.
Aaron Rodgers imposing his will. Tom Brady, before he was 43, imposed his will. Like. There comes to a point where the defense has to throw up their hands.
It's 42.
Yeah, you're right.
Not less.
You're right. You're so right, dude. Okay. We'll do a little game. First coach fired bowl.
This is easy.
Who is winning first coach fired?
Dan Quinn.
Not even close.
It's a one-away.
Not even close. How have I not gotten the notification that he's fired?
I think it's because they're playing the Packers this week. You don't fire him before that.
Because if you win this... Dan Quinn's been holding on to his job by the... just the skin of his teeth since they blew that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he really has. Because, I mean, you look at that roster, they're talented. They got a lot of talent.
No Julio last week, but still.
Calvin Ridley's going nuts. Like, that's not an excuse. It's such a talented roster. Clearly, they've shown they can get out to big leads. And when you're an actual good team, you hold on to leads like that, especially against the Bears with Mitchell Trubisky, who we will get into later on this show.
Yeah, let's just do it now.
No, we got to be careful.
Right.
We got to be careful.
Careful.
There's some sensitive Mitchell Trubisky.
Big Dick Nick has arrived.
There's some very sensitive Mitchell Trubisky fans out there. I don't want to step on their toes.
I appreciate the growth from you, Roach. I was name dropped there. I appreciate the growth. Well, let's just get into it then. If we're talking about Dan Quinn, I mean, I don't have anyone else. Honestly, an uncontested first coach fired bowl.
Yeah, I can't think of any other coach that...
But the thing is, he didn't get fired in the past for like this stuff, so why is he going to get fired now?
So last year, I think the thing was... They started off really poorly, but to end the season, they played well and won a bunch of games. So going into this season, you're like, okay, let's build off that momentum. Not there.
Matt Ryan, most overrated quarterback in 30 years.
Most overrated quarterback since sliced bread? Yes.
Man, I wish I could have seen those games where sliced bread was back there taking the snaps. Yeah, he sucks.
Okay, so, all right, you want to talk about... I'm sorry, Carol, but this is his name. Big Dick Nick. Let's do it.
All right, Nick Foles. You traded everything for him. Thought they should have been starting in the beginning. Okay, bitch doesn't play well. Right?
Did you just call him what I thought you did?
Mitch?
No, that's not what you called him.
That is what I called him. Mitch doesn't really play well. Huh?
Go, come on.
And then Nick Foles comes in. Honestly, could have 4 touchdowns. Because they called that
pick.
Yeah.
They called that pick. Initially, it was a touchdown. They reviewed it, and they overturned it to be a pick. Really? That's kind of up in the
50-50.
Really?
Didn't think they were going to overturn it.
Really had no idea what was going on.
So, could have had 4. Still brought them back. They won the game. I was listening to a unnamed podcast, can't say the name, no free ads.
True.
And he's like, I think they knew they were going to come back on the Falcons.
Dude, as soon as Nick Foles entered that game, I was talking to my grandma, and he threw that pick, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to her, and I was like, Grandma, I know he just threw an interception, but the Bears are going to win this game. Just because that was the vibe I got after that drive. They moved the ball.
Yeah, they were
down
cooking.
The field. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate that I got overturned, but I was like, they're going to win this game because the Falcons clearly can't hold on to a lead. They've proven it time and time again. And so, sure enough, goes down. Really, like you said, it could have been 5 touchdowns because there was a dropped Anthony Miller touchdown in the end zone.
Yeah. But then did they score that drive?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I think they kicked a field goal.
Gotcha.
But anyways,
I had my eyes on red zone.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird situation because you trade up to get Trubisky after somehow thinking the Niners were going to take him, and then he doesn't really pan out first year, but the team wasn't that good. You trade for Khalil Mack, defense goes off the charts. They have a great season. He plays relatively well. He's looking like he's on the uptrend. You lose to the double doink in the playoffs. To Big Dick Nick himself, who's now on your team. Next year, Trubisky regresses. Kind of honestly playing similar to how he played the year before.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a regression.
The defense just wasn't that good, and it showed more because he was on the field more. And then coming into this season, they were 2-0 entering this game, but it didn't feel like they were 2-0 entering this game.
Because they could have easily lost that line.
Yeah. Like, the fact that Trubisky pulled that out of his butt, that was all the good quarterback play he had in him for this year, and you wasted it on 1 quarter against the Lions.
Listen, I know you just dogged the Lions kind of right there, but I think they're pretty good. I just think, okay, I know this is gonna sound. I'm not. When we watch Packers games together, I mean, we have over the years. I've kind of got an interest in them just because I watch them all the time. But this year, for real, like they're one of the best teams in the league, and I think you should take. If you play terrible against them, you should take that with a grain of salt. Like I know the Lions got through the buzzsaw, but like that's got to be taken with. They're one of the best teams in the league. Like,
yeah, looking back, that does make sense. But at the point that the Lions were at, like the fact that they blew that lead made them not look as good. And then the Packers, all these questions coming in with how the offense is going to do. There are people still have question marks to them now, even though it's starting to
just put get a little bit cleared
up. Even though it's starting to get cleared up a little bit, people are going to start respecting them as a good team. They blow out the Lions like that, and then you're like, okay, is it because the Packers are good or the Lions are bad?
Mm-hmm.
So looking back now, especially the way the Lions just beat the Cardinals, I do think they're better.
Yeah.
Than what a lot of people expected them or thought they would be or are.
Yeah.
But
so I kind of want to touch. I have this theory with the Bears. They get this good defense when they're young. You don't have to pay them, right?
Outside of Mac, yeah.
And yeah, well, I'm just saying, like in the history forever.
Okay, yeah.
You get this great defense. Everyone's young. Then you have to start paying people, and then it's like the cycle. As is why the Patriots never pay these defensive players. There's a regression, and I'm not saying they're bad defense by any means, but your window is closing to win with this group, so you have to adjust. I get you drafted Trubisky. Whatever your opinion is on Trubisky, if you think he can get better, you can't afford to go through the ups and the mountains and valleys when developing a young quarterback when you have that defense.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to get somebody that's not going to turn the ball over, not going to miss wide open. Like, is Mitch Trubisky more talented than Nick Foles? Probably.
This is what I was talking to Andrew about, another avid Bears fan, friend of the pod, even though he's never been on.
FOP.
He was saying how he's done with Mitch, and I was just talking to him about it. Like, I don't see how I'm not sure why they weren't starting Foles from the start, like you kind of said.
Yeah.
But he's like, I want Mitch to be good so bad. Like he has all the tools. You can see he has.
And it doesn't help. You've seen for 20 years your biggest rival having a great quarterback.
Yeah.
So
you want him to be good, but there's like a certain point, and I told him this. There's like a certain point when you're like, okay, I've seen enough. Yeah. I can't like keep going through this and see no improvement. You know what I mean? And just assume things will get better, because if they're not, they're not. And when Nick Foles goes in and does what he does,
you have to
honestly what everyone expected him to do.
Yeah.
You can't go back on that at this point. So ideally, Mitch would have played most of the regular season. Foles would have came in towards the end of the season, kind of picked up, got a little bit of momentum going into the playoffs, and they would have rode that. Mm-hmm. So now we'll have to see if Foles can play basically the majority of the season and stay healthy.
Well, it's part of the lore of Nick Foles is that
his playoff performance,
and like
that he comes in and saves a team.
It's just a change, yeah. And that might be what he is. Like, he might be someone you could put in. It's a change of pace. The definition of a system quarterback, like he will maximize your system. Like, he's not going to go over it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's not one of those star quarterbacks where he does his own thing.
He's not Wilson. He's not Mahomes. He's not Rodgers. He's not making plays off schedule.
Because that's their greatness. I mean, it doesn't matter what the system is. They're going to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But Nick Foles is literally the system guy.
He'll run your offense.
And if you really believe in Nagy, you got to go with Foles too, because he's going to maximize your system. I mean, we saw Carson Wentz kind of has that little thing going. Like, he's great, but is he doing what's he doing what Doug Peterson wanted him to do? I don't know.
That's its
own
problem.
Thing.
Its own thing that.
I mean, I love Wentz, but
I don't know how he's gotten to this point. He's really playing like the worst quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. But yeah, I mean, if I'm a Bears fan, I don't know why you're upset.
I don't think you are. You're 3-0. You're going to ride Nick as long as possible. And if Nick doesn't work out, you tried something different. You didn't just keep doing the same thing over and over.
If Nick doesn't work out, you could have had Cam Newton.
Let's speak about Cam Newton. He's a crackhead. He is a problem.
He's your savior.
Okay. Watching the Pats game, playing the Raiders. He didn't play the best. But big moment in the fourth quarter. No one's open. Pressure's coming. He runs it like 20 yards.
He just springs loose.
I was like, forgot that was a thing.
This is what it's like.
I forgot that was an option. I was like, this is what it's like. This is what it's like to have a mobile quarterback that doesn't, like, if stuff is breaking down, he doesn't just throw it away.
Yeah. Like,
it's such a breath of fresh air.
I'm glad that worked out. It seems to have worked out anyways.
I mean, if it doesn't still,
it was fun.
Like I'm saying, tried something. Like, we were going to go in with Jared Stidham. I like Stidham, honestly.
Everyone thought they were tanking this year. They're really going for 7.
They're really going to go for 7, bro. Like, they're going to try to get in they're going to get in the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs, period. And then they're going to try to run it when they're in there.
The only thing that, and I'm sure you are well aware of this, that I am down on the Patriots for, and maybe you can even attribute some of Cam's, like, quote-unquote poor quarterbacking play, like passing. Who's he throwing to, dude? Like, literally, who is he throwing to outside of Edelman?
Even Edelman, bro. He's not your number one.
But he is.
I know, but, like, that's not... As a receiver, he's not designed
what is he, 34-year-old Edelman? 35-year-old Edelman's your number one? Like, N'Keal Harry, cool, but ideally, you're not just thrusting him into a number one spot.
Oh, I'm aware.
Rex Burkhead's your leading receiver in that game? Like, what?
Hey, that's what people forget about the Patriots. Their line is nuts. They've always been well coached. Like,
doesn't matter who's
and then the thing that's great about this Patriots team, their left guard got hurt, and they put in the 6th rounder from Michigan, Anua. I don't even know how to say his name. I cheered for him for like 4 years.
He's playing like the second coming of Quentin Nelson,
and he's great. Like, I mean, I knew that when he was at Michigan.
Yeah.
If you're a good lineman, you're a good lineman, bro. Like, you can be coached at that level, I think. That's for sure.
That's the only thing. If I was a Patriots fan, I'd want to see them try to make a move at the deadline. Before the deadline. Just for a receiver.
Oh.
Anybody. I'm not sure why they cut Sanu, if I'm being honest.
Because he wasn't good. Did he get picked up?
No.
Because he's not good.
But is he not better than some of the other people in
No.
So you'd rather just not have him at all?
Yeah. I'd rather have Josh Gordon right now, honestly.
If they can just get one competent receiver so that way Edelman doesn't have to play as a 1.
And get double teamed all the time? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. I don't know who they'd go for.
I really like N'Keal Harry, though. Huh?
AB reunion? Why don't they just
I'll get my jersey out right now and throw it on.
Why don't they give Des Bryant a shot? That's like the epitome of the Patriots.
What, just taking your broken toys?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think that's the window to sign Des Bryant was a while.
It's worth a shot, is it not?
What
are you losing?
I mean, I just don't like. Bill Belichick hates trying stuff and it not working. Like, that was why they waited so long for Cam, because they're like, we know who Jared Stidham is.
Yeah.
We can maximize him and see how it goes. But then they went. I mean, I think it was clear no one was going to get Cam, and they're like, screw it. He'll take literally pennies. There's no risk. Same with AB. There wasn't supposed to be risk.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Anyway, let's talk about your Packers. I specifically highlighted in our notes the Packers' offense. Best offense in the league? Question mark?
3 weeks in, high scoring offense. Granted, they played the Vikings, who everyone was picking to beat them week 1.
I did not see anybody doing that.
There's a lot of people. I mean, I was keeping up with it probably more than you. But a lot of people...
I just didn't see the people that mattered saying that.
A lot of people like the Vikings in that game. The Lions.
I might have liked the line.
The Lions, who I think are better than a lot of people give them credit for. But
I agree.
Also seen as another weak game. So this was the prove it game. The Saints.
Was it?
I mean, that was the narrative. The Saints.
I understand.
The Saints in Mercedes-Benz.
Huge crowd there.
Granted, there's no fans. But can the Packers do it against another, perceived as high quality team?
Yeah.
And they walked in there and they put up 37, hung 37 on them.
Allowed 30?
Allowed 30, but
Kamara went nuts.
What I was telling Xavier, so I know we want to talk about the offense. The offense, Rodgers is doing it. Doesn't matter who's on the field. That was the big story coming in. They took Jordan Love in the first round, no receivers. Looking pretty cool to me.
No Devontae,
no Adams, you still hang 37?
Lazard just went fucking crazy.
There's no offseason or anything, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to think players developing, but they're still doing their own workouts. They still had a camp, and even throughout the first couple games of the season, you can see them slowly getting more and more involved and just playing better. So when Adams comes back this coming up week, you're full stops.
Mm-hmm. What a time!
But yeah, going back to that Saints game though. The defense, ever since that Super Bowl season.
Good God.
So going back 10 years.
10 years ago.
Well, and a little bit in 14. Their defense was pretty good in 24. But every year since then, that's the number one thing that
everyone keeps
scares me.
About. Just and the Packers are well aware. They showed a graphic and it was both their last 15 first-round picks were defensive guys.
Yeah.
And one of the three that weren't was Jordan Love.
Yeah. I think I was talking to Xavier too, watching that game, it was weird because Kamara was going through him, literally slicing through him like a hot knife in butter. But when you were watching, I attribute that to missed tackles more than not being there to make a play, because there was so many times when they were hitting Kamara in the backfield or a couple yard gains, and he's breaking out of that, busting it 15 yards, busting it 50 yards for a touchdown.
I understand what you're saying, but that's still a huge problem.
I get that. But
I'd be more concerned about that they're not making tackles.
I'd be less concerned about that.
Really? I feel like that's not something
at least you're in position.
I understand, but I think it's the opposite. I think you can learn to get in position. I don't think that develop tackling.
Well,
you've been tackling since you were 8.
Dude, I get that. But going into an off season where you didn't really have live tackling drills, that does make a difference, dude.
They're professionals. They've been tackling since
I understand
Vietnam.
That, but it does make a difference. So I'm not saying it's easily remedied. I'm not saying I'm not worried. But I'd rather them be in position and miss a tackle, because tackling can be more easily corrected than not being in the position, in my opinion.
Who's Sweet Victory in our Among Us chat?
I have no idea.
It just popped up on my screen.
But yeah, at least they're there. You just got to make the tackle, and that can come. Granted, it helps when Drew Brees is throwing 2 yards down the field, but
Drew Brees sucks, bro.
The Packers' secondary is pretty nasty.
Suck.
Yeah.
Get him out.
Let's not talk about that.
Like I said last week, there's a reason they're the high. They keep paying their backups. Teddy Bridgewater, his contract runs out. He wants starter playing time, starter money. He can't give that to you. Get Jameis though.
Yeah, he's down in the dumps.
I'm just saying. Are they better with Jameis?
It's tough because Drew Brees is Drew Brees. At least Drew Brees of old. You hear Drew Brees, you think, 2017 Drew Brees flinging the rock everywhere, looking like top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback in the league. He's been.
There was talk that he was one of the best quarterbacks of all time. You gotta look.
Statistically,
this is what okay.
Look, there's statistics and then there's championships. Like the same thing with the NBA.
I'm saying, the James Harden of the NFL is Drew Brees. That offense is designed to do that. Like, that is the whole purpose of the offense is we're not really handing the ball off, but if we are, it's going to be like a pseudo hand on. He's going to throw the ball check down. Like, we would have got that in a run. Mm-hmm. Might as well do this the whole time.
Yeah.
So, Drew Brees sucks. Case closed. Get Jameis out there. Let's win some games.
That makes sense to me too. But
they can't do Drew Brees like that. Yeah. They can't do him like that. So.
Best case scenario, he gets hurt.
Whoa.
I'm not wishing that upon him like some other listeners of the pod might, but...
So there was... we were watching the game a little bit, and like everyone has like names on like their thing. It's like Breonna Taylor. Some people have George Floyd. Some other phrases. Drew Brees has "It takes all of us." Hot take from Drew Brees. Wonder who he's voting for this November. Anyway, let's move on to the best league in the world, the NBA. Let's do the finals last. So, let's just go in Celtics Heat. We were wrong at the pod last week. Thought the Celtics were going to bring it back. And what was exposed in those last two games? Gordon Hayward is not good. That was exposed.
I didn't watch.
Probably better off without him.
I didn't get to watch the games because I was working.
Okay,
but
I understand.
I can, sure.
But
I'll listen to you.
This is when Gordon Hayward is in there. You expect stuff. When Semi Ojeley's out there, just hold your own out there, Semi. That's all we need from you. Like, okay, you see what I'm saying? Like, Doc Rivers always talks about this. Rest in peace, Doc. He's not
Rest
dead.
in peace.
He's not dead, but dead maybe in the NBA.
Might as well be.
He's always worried about teams when they don't have their best player because everyone else is lax and other people step up because they have more opportunities. When Gordon Hayward is in there, probably the biggest, like, just blind spot in Brad Stevens' career is trusting Gordon Hayward, but he's not good, dude.
It's because he coached him.
I understand that, but you have to realize, like, maybe he was better. We're better off not rushing him. It was a big, like, I don't even know, like, how to, like, I get they won that game that he came back in pretty big, but that's its own thing. Like, that you were probably going to win that game anyway.
Yeah.
Like, just statistically, like, it's just so frustrating because, like, again, with the Raptors series, when they won big. They were up 6 in this game. In game 6, they were up 6, and then they lost. Like, the Heat just didn't give you that. Like, the Heat were probably comparable in skill. The Raptors weren't. And you couldn't just, like, give up leads like that. I don't know if you have anything to say about Celtics Heat, but...
No, I mean, I just think my whole takeaway from the game, or from the Celtics really this whole postseason, was just, like, it looked like, dude, this Celtics team is good, but they are, like, they were inconsistent.
Yeah. Like,
very inconsistent in how they were playing. Like, some nights, like you said, they'd be playing really well. They'd blow the team out. And then come back, like you said, they're up 6 with, I forget how much time was left in that game, in that fourth quarter of game 6. But the Heat just start pouring it on, and you're just like, okay, where is everybody? Where is this? Where are the Celtics? They were just up. Like, they came back. They brought back that deficit to get up 6. You thought they were going to take the game.
I mean, and that was the story kind of the Celtics, even in the regular season. Like, they don't know how to cruise. Like, if you see LeBron, I get that's LeBron James. He's been doing this for a long time. He knows when to turn it on, turn it off. The Celtics were acting like they could do that. You can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Like, Tatum's not at that level.
Especially against a hot team like the Heat that just have shooters everywhere.
Shoosters.
Straight shoosters.
God, we'll talk about them as a team
Bam
later.
was a problem for them. They had no answer for Bam.
Well, I get that, but whenever Canada was out there, they were playing well. I just think Brad Stevens just loves Tice for some reason. It's just weird. Like, Brad Stevens does stuff, and I'm like, what are you
Brad
doing?
Stevens was... We were having the conversation a couple years ago. Brad Stevens, best coach in the NBA? Is he better than Pop?
What a bad take. I mean, at the time, how the team was overachieving was kind of insane. But at the same time, like, there's a point where you're not the young team overachieving.
You're expected to do it.
You're expected to do well.
And what's wild is Tatum is still, what, like 22, 23?
Yeah, he's...
Like, that team is still young.
Yeah, that's why you just run it back. You probably don't re-sign Hayward. I have a thing about their future. You probably just don't re-sign Hayward because, like I said,
free agent this year?
I think so. It's either he has his option or he's a free agent. But you reach like a point where the young players that are playing really well have to get paid. Like, you're gonna have to put Brown and Tatum on your books.
Yeah.
This is the best team you're ever going to have around them at the end of the day. And you're going to have to make something work. Like, you're tied to Smart. Smart's already going to be tied to that group. I mean, I don't know how they get better. You're just banking just banking on Brown. And
they need a better big.
Well, you're not going to get it. Like, that's the thing.
They're banking on Taco Fall.
Well, that's the problem with all these NBA teams, and why I like this league so much better, is teams become inherently flawed because of where your money's tied up in.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you can just cut those dudes. Most of those dudes.
You can cut the dudes for minimal penalty.
Yeah, but, like, you can't do that in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, obviously the Celtics need a big. How do you get there?
Taco Fall, that's how.
You're trading for Adams, that's how. So
that would be huge.
Nugs, Lakers is the next one, the other conference finals.
If I'm Thunder, I'm considering giving the Celtics some first-round picks to take Adam.
That's honestly big brain. I never really thought of it. Because they have so many... That's like classic salary dump.
Yeah.
Give them a pick, you dump the contract you don't want. The Thunder... They could just do that with Adams.
Literally.
I had to pee. Talk.
So... The other series that occurred outside of the Celtics, Heat won 5 or 6. Yeah, okay, cool. Nuggets, Lakers. Lakers win in 5. And it was an entertaining series, you know. The Nuggets were hot coming off of that Clippers win, coming down 3-1. And that was kind of the narrative the whole time, like, man, this is the Nuggets team that you don't want to face, like, or you're not really safe if you're up on them. So the Lakers had that 3-1 lead going into Game 5, and that was the whole story, like, building up to it. Like, the Nuggets got the Lakers right where they want them.
Do they?
The Nuggets got the Lakers right where they want them, dude. They're down 3-1.
Okay, I'm just so sick of the wishy-washy narratives that have been thrown at our boy, LeBron James, in case you didn't know.
I mean, that's what's going to happen when you go.
Listen.
Wants to demine you.
Listen to me right now. The Trailblazers, man, they're playing like a 3 seed. The Rockets, I said they were the best team. I thought how they were playing, if Westbrook got going, how their style matched up perfect to them. But then they handle them. I'm like, dang, that's huge. But then all these other people are like, the Rockets suck.
Literally.
Westbrook sucks. They don't have a center.
Like
we were just talking about how great that was a week ago.
Like you just said, the Lakers played. They had nothing to play for in those seeding games. So they were pretty bad. Not gonna lie. Going into that Portland series, Portland's hot. They just come off playing 8 straight playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
Or 9 straight, I guess, if you count the seeding game. And they take game 1. Does anyone not remember Charles Barkley saying they were going to sweep the Lakers? Like, this is a 3 seed hit and 8 seed, the greatest 8 seed in the history of basketball. Gonna take, that's just the narrative. Gonna take the Lakers to 7 games, might even beat them.
Yeah, we're hearing Man, Knicks, remember, they were an 8 seed, they made the finals.
Gentleman's sweep. Okay,
listen.
Cool. And now Portland sucks. Portland had the worst defense in the league. Of course LeBron's going to hit.
And then we're talking about Dame getting hurt. That dude was not hurt.
He wasn't.
They were going to lose the series. He just went home.
Yeah.
He's like, we're done. There's nothing to play. We had a nice run.
We got to get
I'm going home.
Oh, cool.
Like, that's what it was. But as soon as I saw Dame wasn't going to play that game, I'm like, there's the narrative. Dame's hurt.
Yep.
He took him so long and then can take the bear of 12 games. What are we talking about? That Blazers team was good. The Rockets were good. And then we hear how much they suck. And then
the Rockets, man, they'll shoot the lights out. They can win 4 games against this Lakers team. They got 2 MVPs on their bench. Small ball, Lakers can't match up to that. They're too big.
And then the Nuggets beat the Clippers. And then what do the Lakers do to the Nuggets? They win in 5. Conventional wisdom says the Lakers are better than the Clippers. They beat them in 5. They lost to them in 7.
Clippers would have beaten the Lakers.
That they didn't have to play the Lakers. If you think Jokic was a problem for the Clippers, we saw what Anthony Davis did in the regular season. Oh my God. That Clippers team was flawed from the beginning because it was built to play LeBron.
It's funny, like, the biggest knock on LeBron outside of his finals losses, you could also say, well, Jordan never played in a Game 7 in the finals. He never had problems closing out teams.
Yeah, you're playing against 40-year-old Malone and Stockton.
Okay, cool, whatever. LeBron comes into this season. Keep in mind, the Lakers missed the playoffs the year before.
Because he literally tore his groin and was out for almost 2 months.
Everyone forgets they were the 4 seed when he got hurt. The 4 seed in that West that had the Warriors, the Kevin Durant Warriors, they're still the 4 seed. All right, cool. You come into this playoffs, gentleman's sweep against all these teams that are being hyped up as the Lakers are going to play them, and then everyone wants to say these teams suck, and LeBron had a cakewalk through the West, didn't have to play anybody. He's not going to have to play Milwaukee in the finals. He's going to have to play the Heat. Come on, give him the chip. Dude, the Heat dismantled the Bucks.
I mean, let's just go into... I mean, I had the Nuggets future. We kind of talked about it when they were down 3-1 against the Clippers. Just run it back.
The Nuggets future
just run it back.
Not look any brighter.
Probably not re-signing Grant.
That's tough because you want to.
I get that, but I kind of think like the thought process when he traded that first round pick for him was that he was going to opt in. But then, right before the season ends, he goes stupid.
He goes nuts.
He's going to get paid the money he wants by somebody. And if I'm the Nuggets, I'm like, do we? I mean, Millsap's going to be off your books, so I mean, I guess you have the room for it. But
from the Thunder, do I want Jeremy back?
That'd be kind of small brain, but
yeah, I mean, just run it back. Hopefully, you can re-sign Grant. It's going to be tough because he just made a shit ton of money
off that one game.
But yeah, I mean, Porter Jr. is only going to get better. Jamal Murray. The key is Jamal Murray maintaining what he did.
Yeah. Okay. Is Jamal Murray a product of the bubble, or can he actually do this? Is the thing.
I'm not going to write him off, but that is a question.
Yes, I agree.
And you know what you're getting with Jokic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you already signed Jokic. You already signed Murray. It's all about...
And I think as much as
supporting cast.
Some of us like to talk about Gary Harris, the fact that he's not going to be coming off an injury going in the bubble will help. I saw someone giving him props for his defense. Was that real?
I mean, I don't think so. I feel like they were bucking everything. Teams were like picking him out. I think, okay, if you're on a team and everyone's trying to get you on the switch and the pick and roll, you're not that good. Okay, and then part of it too was like, okay, someone was on, like, it was like a Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, like pick and roll. So you're like, oh, they're switching off Gary Harris because he's a good defender. Jamal Murray's even worse. Like, they were going for Murray. So that's part of it. Anyway, let's preview the finals. We're finally here. We talked about if this bubble would even happen.
If it would work.
We ran it past the flying colors. And then we kind of reached a point where it was happening. You know, we're in the middle of it. we're finally at the end. These are the best two teams.
By far.
And anyone that disputes that hasn't been watching. Like, I get it's crazy the Heat are in the finals, but from start to finish, in what we've seen in like this basketball setting, the Heat are the second best. Like, these are the two best teams. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you positive? The Clippers?
No.
They would have beat the Lakers, dude.
Like, how can anyone even say that? Like,
I don't know.
Oh my god.
They would have beat the Lakers, but Pandemic P choked 3 straight fourth quarters. Kawhi choked the last 4 quarters.
I guess we can go. Doc's fired, by the way. Who knows who's going to take that job?
Okay, that is, to me, that's wild. That he got fired.
Okay. Like, somebody had to be held accountable.
Look, I get that. But even then, like, under normal circumstances, cool. If, like, say the pandemic never happened, you lose in the second round like that, and of course. Coming into this bubble, the fact that half of their team was not even in the bubble until the playoffs began.
Doesn't matter. Because that wasn't the problem. It wasn't like a lack of chemistry. No one showed up.
I mean, it was a lack of chemistry.
That's not a lack of chemistry. If no one's playing well, that has nothing to do with you being in sync. Like, they all sucked. Like, they all weren't motivated.
So, here's another thing.
They rolled over in that Game 7.
I know.
No one showed up.
Here's another thing that leads into that. Do you remember... You remember when the league stopped?
I recall.
And not in March, but, like, the bubble stopped. Mm-hmm. And they held the vote. The Lakers and Clippers are 2 teams that voted that they didn't want to continue playing. So, okay, yes. What was their motivation behind that?
Do you think the Clippers didn't want to play because they thought they were going to lose?
That, or I'm saying either that or the fact they just really didn't want to play.
I mean, okay, as a coach,
obviously I can't. Obviously, I can't speak for that. Obviously, I cannot speak for that. But
if that is if you think they didn't want to play, Doc Rivers had to take control of that situation and make them want to play. Doc Rivers was very hands off this year. He was like, "We have stars, let them do it." That works when you have Chris Paul. He's your coach out there. This group of people.
I just think it's tough when you have Pandemic P on your team and he's the reason you're losing your job.
You got to make them want to play. That is your job as a coach. If he couldn't do it, we got to get somebody else. A new body, fresh face, someone different to tell them.
It's just
because they're not listening.
It's just an unprecedented situation.
If you're not listening to your coach, they have to fire him. Like, if they don't listen to Doc, you gotta get somebody else in there, and just you can't do the same thing again.
Well, and what the thing that just blows my mind, like the year before, their 48-win team. Obviously, that team responded well to Doc. What did you change about that team? You added Kawhi, you added Paul George.
But that shook up the whole nucleus of the team.
I understand that, but the team outside.
Who did they trade away?
Gallinari
and Shea. The heart of that team last year. I mean, that's the glue. I mean, I get Kawhi and Paul George should probably just come in but that's not who they are. They're both passive players. Like, I'm anti Paul George since forever.
Especially Kawhi. I mean, we should have expected it though, because Paul George took out one river. He's gone for 2. Austin, watch yourself. Rip Cali, rip Doc. Austin's all that's left.
Steph Curry fought for Cali Rivers' honor right there. In the playoffs, he was cooking on them.
Seth, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's his own thing.
It's tough. I mean, I'm just saying I was kind of shocked because I didn't really expect it based on the situation, but I understand.
Something had to happen, and you couldn't get rid of
the dude you traded your future away for.
I mean, listen, for this to happen so late, if, like, firing Doc wasn't their first option, you know what their first option was? Trading Pandemic.
Dude.
No buyers, you got to do something.
Clippers are better if... It's crazy because Kawhi is the one that orchestrated this. Clippers would have been better if he just joined that team.
I know, but he wasn't going to do it because he didn't think this team could play well.
But they literally could have.
I understand, but you don't expect Shea to make that leap. I mean, if you're Kawhi, you don't even want to risk that. You know what I mean? Because that team being good was dependent on Shea making a leap. And he did, but if you're Kawhi, you don't want to mess with that. I think that would have been dope.
I'll take my chances with Pandemic P, though.
Well, like I said, I think I said this last week, but Perfect Storm.
I'll take my chances with a dude who's never been a playoff performer, though.
But Perfect Storm, like MVPG was a thing. Third in MVP voting, they lose. He's chalking up to Russ.
And the fact that he got hurt.
Yeah, that too. But I'm like,
yeah,
Russ is the problem.
Yeah,
not
Russ the scapegoat.
Yeah, I mean,
was
Russ a problem? Yes, but was he the problem? I don't know.
Pandemic P's faults.
So, well, he wasn't Pandemic P back then. I can't believe he even dreamt of calling himself
Problematic P.
Way off P. Okay. Let's not get into the finals. I forgot we had more stuff. Victor Oladipo wants out of Indiana.
To the Lakers.
Why do you want...
I'm just kidding. I just want to see what you say.
Oladipo sucks.
Dude.
He is literally the fourth best player on the Pacers.
Who's above him?
Brogdon.
If you say TJ
Brogdon, TJ Warren, and Sabonis. Who played better?
Who came off of injury?
That's who he is as a player now.
No.
That's who he is.
No.
I don't want Oladipo. Trade him away. Get him out.
No.
You think who's the... Okay.
To quote Dr. Lupo, no.
Who is the best player on the Pacers? Roach.
Either Brogdon or Sabonis.
Who is the second best player?
Either Brogdon or Sabonis.
Okay. Oladipo. At most, the third best player. But you know what pisses him off? Before he got hurt, he was the best player. All this stuff happened. Sabonis made a leap, brought Brogdon in. Even better as a primary ball handler. Even better than... Bucks should have kept him over Bledsoe. God.
Different story. I'm pretty
But let's just talk about...
We did talk about
that. Discussion is somewhere in the archives.
Go watch the last pod. Or maybe... Nah, it was the last pod for sure.
So, Sabonis... I mean...
Maybe it's 2 pods ago.
Oladipo is just pissed about the situation. And he wants out. Because he knows...
I mean, hey, Jordan might trade for him.
Hey, yeah, this is GM of the Pacers. Yeah. Oladipo for Monk in your first rounder? Who says no?
Jordan sitting there.
I'm in. I'm reuniting Zeller and Oladipo. Say less.
That's a hard bargain there.
He's like, really? That's all you want? Say less. Hangs up. And the Pacers just got off scot-free. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's talk about the job openings.
Okay.
There is 6 job openings. Got the Clippers, Rockets, Pacers, Pelicans, Thunder, Sixers.
Okay.
What is your lock for all these?
Like which?
What's the move? What is for sure going to happen
for each team?
No, just in general.
Out of all those teams.
Yeah.
The lock in my mind, Tyler to the Clips. Like he's gonna just sign.
I think
move
so
up
too.
to the head
that's
coach.
Pretty.
Like that's a lock.
Yeah.
Another one that I'm pretty sure on. Doc to the Sixers. I brought this up with you. I said that to you, and you said, "If I'm Doc, I don't want that legacy hit."
But
if I'm Doc, I'm taking 2 of the best players in the league. If I'm Doc, I know how to use Joel Embiid.
The juxtaposition of him not wanting there because of the legacy hit. Think about what that does for your legacy if you figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Doc is like has a very complicated legacy because he has like the Tracy magic, you know, kind of. He's not in that role. They were close to getting Tim Duncan. They don't get him. Like that's what they kind of hang his magic tenure on. With the Celtics, you win early. But then you go to the Clippers, you get traded there, you want to be there, you don't want to go through a rebuild. You win the title, but like What did you do?
You said Clippers. But
yeah. With the Celtics. You win title. You hang your hat on that title, but then you go to the Clippers. Should have probably won a title.
Yeah. I sent something in one of our chats of the Lob City Clippers. I was like, that era, like the Lob City era, like the greatest the greatest nucleus of players that didn't win.
People forget how elite Blake Griffin was, like when he figured out how to post up and not just dunk. Because people will see his dunks, and then he's kind of stopped doing them, and like he regressed. No, he's learned how to play basketball.
He's just a better player.
He just is a better all-around player.
And DeAndre Jordan was still there above the rim, so you're cool.
Yeah, and then they had Jamal Crawford in his prime, JJ Redick in his prime. Like, they had pieces.
Mukumba Mute in his defensive prime.
Bob Mute, never forget. Like, you had a team to win. Choke job against the Rockets. That's probably your best bet of winning. So
yes,
and then
that was the season LeBron or the Cavs were injured.
Yes,
that was your best shot.
2015 was their best shot. The fact that the Warriors won that title is still mind blowing because they won. They won too early.
The fact that Andre Iguodala won Finals MVP over LeBron is mind blowing.
Like, that's just so weird about like the Warriors still probably won like 3 is probably the right number. But just how they won 3 was weird. You know, like they probably should have won 16. Cavs win 15.
That was just kind of karma.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's karma.
It is. So, my lock is probably. Are you ready for this? D'Antoni to the Pelicans.
Really?
I think that's a lock.
I just don't understand how D'Antoni's continuing to get coaching jobs.
He maximized James Harden to his fullest potential.
Here's your problem.
He made him an MVP.
Here's your problem. You don't have James Harden on the Pelicans.
Okay. I guarantee you, someone write this down. If D'Antoni goes to the Pelicans, Lonzo Ball is top 3 in most improved player.
If D'Antoni goes to the Pelicans, Zion's, what's he doing?
He's not playing because he's going to be injured the whole time.
No, okay. Let's just assume he'd be healthy.
You play him at the 5. What are you talking about? He's a perfect modern day 5.
That's too small.
No, he's
6. He's 6'6".
I understand that he's 6'6", but how high he jumps and how big his ass is, he's 7 foot.
He's 6'6".
I don't care.
He's a midget compared to other players.
He would play fine at the 5.
Dwight would body him.
No, he wouldn't. Do you not realize how strong Zion is?
He is pretty fat. I'll give you that.
If you dude, I get the dog on Zion, but his like rebounding is like insane. Just like thinking about it, how he seals off people, how high, like his rebound radius is insane
because he can jump out the building.
Yes, like I get we dog on Zion, but he is.
No, I'm just giving you crap.
Very good.
I'm just giving you crap.
I know.
Lonzo is a bust. Let's not get that twisted. That is 100% just fact.
Okay. We'll see.
He's not going to be on that team, but...
What are they going to do? What?
Isn't he a free agent or is it after next year?
No. I mean, this is I think this is last year of his rookie deal, but...
Coming up? Or this past year was?
He definitely is on the team next year. Because they picked up his 2-year option.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, most rookies are 2-2.
I want to play for the Lakers. Yeah, baby.
God. Okay, now we're finally going to talk about the finals. God. Okay, the storylines of the finals. The most important one, I'm just going to go, like, actual what's going to be on the floor. That Miami zone's nuts.
So... Disclaimer, I don't understand NBA defenses. Stonewall sent me this link to NBA defensive test, and I got a 0 out of 10.
I got like a 7 out of 10. But some of those answers were...
But still, you would think I could hit on one, but I didn't.
Okay. So, 2-3 zone, okay? I'm just literally going to explain the zone to you. Okay. 2 people up top, 3 down low.
Then you just rotate to the
You rotate. You don't guard people, you guard a zone. So, okay, if you see this, where's the weak point? You got the perimeter up here, the 3 down here. The middle. They're going to put AD in the middle the whole time, and they're just going to try to I mean, they might not even play it because with the Celtics, they're going to play it. They might not play game 1. They might just try to play them straight up and just see what happens.
The Heat?
Yeah. Because the Heat, like, if you see a zone 24/7, you're going to figure it out and slice it. Like, you're going to be in the rhythm of playing in that zone. But if you bring it out, like, so you just play it in the third or something like that, like,
that's an adjustment.
That messes up. You have to adjust because you just played a whole half of not having to deal with it. So it's just when they use their zone and when they use it, can LeBron break it? LeBron, probably the best person in the world to... His basketball IQ is probably higher than anybody that's ever touched a basketball floor. So I think they'll figure it out. They have the pieces to figure it out too, because like you can slice in and say you get Bam sometimes plays that middle third, like in the middle on the back line. Sometimes he plays off so he can come off ball. It just depends what they do. I mean, they did that a lot with Whiteside too. Whiteside would get like easy gimme blocks.
So if the zone, here's just an off-topic question: if the zone's so effective, why don't more teams do it?
Not everyone can do it. It's
you just gotta.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of like, if you don't run the zone properly, you're gonna get scorched. Like there's gonna be so many open threes just because how you rotate the ball, and it's really hard to rebound. That's the big thing. If they run this, they might not run it because of AD. And they can just go big on
Howard and JaVale.
They can just go big on them. Like, you can go Howard AD, JaVale AD. You can go Dwight JaVale and just get every board. Because you're like, when the shot goes up, you know where those 3 people on the bottom line are going to be.
Yeah.
They have to be there. I mean, they're playing a zone. So that's long rebounds, big problem in the zone. Because say it's a long rebound, you only got 2 people on the perimeter to try to get it.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Will they use the zone? How effective will the zone be? Can the Lakers figure it out? I think if the Heat play a zone, they're not gonna get as many boards. It's really just like if Bam, Jay Crowder, Iggy, and all them, Jimmy, can they like make up for their out of position play on the zone?
All I'm saying is Jordan never had to play a zone.
He literally didn't because it was banned. Just saying. So. God, that pisses me off so much because that's literally what that 2011 title is. Anyway, don't want to go on the tangent. And like you texted me and you're like, LeBron's played against the zone and choked it. Totally different team, totally different LeBron. AD is gonna kill the zone if they play it.
I said that as more of a question.
Yeah,
But
good. I mean, it's a question that you need to be asked. AD versus Bam, huge.
Is it blasphemous if I say AD's going to get bodied?
No, because Bam's a good matchup for him. Like,
and Bam wants to bang.
Bam's not scared of the moment.
AD, dude. I love you, dude. You got to want to bang at some point.
That's the thing. Will AD want to bang? Because, I mean, he's been kind of living on the perimeter this postseason. Like,
it's kind of crazy. Like, yeah, AD's so big, so tall.
Still got handles.
He's not really that, like, strong.
What? I think he is, but, like...
But, like, there's, like, Zion, like, Bam.
I just think there's outliers, like...
They just play stronger.
Yeah, like, there's people that's their whole game. I think AD, like... Dude, he can make some contested layups. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can back you up on that one, but... I see what you're saying.
I'm not.
He's content with playing on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Those players aren't. I agree with that.
I think that's definitely where they're gonna do damage though. If AD can get his shot going.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna make Bam play out there.
That's the whole thing of the zone. So with that zone, Bam has to play down. You can't like play him up.
Yeah.
I think they're going to match up straight. I think they're going to go straight up first game.
Because you have to have Bam on 80.
And like, I think that's a good like test. Like, where are we just playing them straight up? How like are we back? Like, are we pretty even? Can we throw in the zone later, like as like a wrinkle, or are we really going to have to rely on it? I kind of just wanted to real quick just rank the top 10 players in this series.
Okay, LeBron.
Oh, hold up. Let me Okay, LeBron 1 for sure.
AD 2.
Yep.
Playoff Rondo 3.
Stop.
No, I'm just kidding. Probably Bam at 3. If I'm being honest.
Okay, I thought that we were gonna argue about that. Bam is definitely 3.
I'm not a dummy.
Okay, then Butler 4.
Yeah.
For sure. 5.
That's where it gets tough.
Let's see.
Players I'm considering are Rondo,
Hero.
Dragic.
It's Dragic.
Yeah.
Dragic 5. So we got Rondo, Hero, Robinson. I think is very important. Crowder, Iggy. I think like that's for sure who is considered for the next spots.
Yeah.
So I mean,
well, I don't know. Dude.
KCP.
KCP is in that list. The way he's been playing.
I don't think he's above. I think he's below the Heat role players.
He's above. He's definitely above Duncan Robinson because he's relegated to shooting.
But he's not like. Okay, before the last Celtics game, how many 2-pointers do you think he attempted before the last one? 1. Attempted 4 in the first 3 minutes. He just kept getting to the fucking bucket.
Oh, game 6.
Yeah, no one was guarding him. I think Duncan Robinson's a problem, and like with this, if they do play that zone, you can't hide. Like you can hide Duncan Robinson very easily. Like you can't pick him out if you're the Lakers. And I don't think he's that bad defensively either. I think him and KCP are comparable in like their role and like the production level on the team for sure.
So what are we at right now?
6. Hero. Go Hero. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hero.
Hurley's kind of playing out of his mind. But is that recency bias?
I mean, I think if he's doing
Rondo's
well,
playing well too.
I get that
on both sides. Like he's passing well. He's playing really good defense.
So we can go Rondo.
Hero.
We're talking about Rondo. 2020 Hero. I think next 3 might be Crowder.
You cannot put KCP under Crowder. That'd be disrespectful towards my KCP. At least put Robinson, KCP at 10 right now.
Put Robinson here.
He deserves to be on this fucking list.
Let's go KCP and then Crowder. I don't think Iggy's in the top 10. I get he played well that last game.
Are you going to put Myers Leonard in there?
He's not going to play.
Dude, if the Lakers make the Heat go to a double big lineup, they're kind of screwed.
The Heat? Yeah, because Myers Leonard's been on the bench for a month. I dare you to put Kelly Olynyk out there.
I'm just saying, dude, because the Lakers can play double big.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you're playing with AD, you're not really playing double.
What? If you're playing AD, if you're the Lakers, you're not playing double big?
Like, you are, but you're not, because AD...
Oh, yeah. He's versatile. He's the versatile dude. Yeah. The Kelly Olynyk, maybe. Like AD's not going to guard Kelly
Olynyk's getting bodied by anybody the Lakers throw down there. But on the flip side, the Heat have so many like hot or I guess dangerous shooters on the perimeter that it could limit what they can do.
Yeah.
Like if the Heat can make the Lakers not be able to play JaVale or Dwight consistently, that could be a problem.
I'm so excited. It's a great matchup. Like
it's pretty much just going to be whichever side does whatever they want better, which I guess you could say about any game. But.
Like, okay, narrative-wise, Celtics-Lakers would have been dope for, like, history purposes.
But this is personal.
Because Pat Riley has some beef with our boy LeBron.
Because he left him high and dry, dude.
So, okay. When Pat Riley, if people don't know, have orchestrated LeBron coming to the Heat. You know what his pitch was? When LeBron came into his office. He dropped his championship rings on the desk, said, in Miami. What's she getting?
Is that real?
Yeah. And then, so LeBron's like,
I'm in.
Wade, Bosh, let's go. when it came to re-sign him 4 years later, Pat Riley is like, you can't. This is hard. Like, you can't take the first door out if we're building a dynasty. Like, you gotta stick with it. We'll retool. And honestly, looking back, Pat Riley probably would have made something happen.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You were kind of stuck with Norris, like the Norris Cole, like Bosh, Wade. I get you probably didn't want to play with them, but if you told Pat Riley you didn't want to play with them, you wouldn't have been playing with them. I think like they would have dealt them, they wouldn't have signed them, would have made it happen. So that's where the beef starts. And then at the end of this press conference, he's asked, "Are you gonna how are you gonna sway LeBron?" He's like, "I'm not gonna throw my championship rings down on my desk. I'm gonna tell Bosh, Wade, and LeBron to throw their own on the desk. That's why you're staying, because you have 6 rings between the. So Wade had 3, 3, 2, 2, 7 rings. That's why you're staying." And then he doesn't come back. You think, like, if you're Pat Riley, 6 years of 6 years of having to build all this to just get back, and LeBron could just go do whatever he wanted. Who do you think LeBron learned all the executive stuff from? Pat Riley. Mm-hmm. Teacher versus student. That's the real storyline. Pat Riley versus LeBron. I get Pat Riley's not going to be on the court. He's not even going to be on the bench. But he is the puppet master.
He wants this championship more than anybody.
Literally, anybody on the court, Pat Riley wants it more. Guarantee it. He's the Don. He is the Godfather.
He really is the Don.
Pat Riley is probably my favorite, like, just like non-player ever in the league.
Yeah,
by far. He's just so dope.
Been in NBA Finals each decade since the 70s. That wild.
That's insane.
70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Because he played in the 70s, yeah. Yeah, 70s.
Lakers 80s, Knicks 90s, Heat 2000s, 10s.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, and think about when he went to the Heat. Built the, like, he wasn't building stuff from scratch. Like, okay, you get Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning in the 90s. Championship caliber team, probably should have won that 99 year. But, you know, shit happened. Lockout. You had to cram all those games all at once. It's not like you had the pleasure of being in the bubble.
Weren't the Knicks in the finals that year?
Yeah.
Kind of ironic.
Yeah, Van Gundy leading them. But, you know, like, that's different. You're still traveling. There's still fans. Like, it's not like you were staying in Orlando.
Yeah.
99 season, crazy season ever. Anyway. And then you get Dwayne Wade. Then you get Shaq. You built that artificially. You build Wade, Bosh, LeBron artificially. But this one's probably your purest one yet.
Yeah.
Sure, you brought in Jimmy Butler, but
everyone else
is ground
essentially homegrown.
I mean, even Dragic, you got him so young. You traded 2 first-round picks for him. That's how much you believed in Dragic. And here we are, NBA Finals.
He is
I'm so, like, okay. I know the narrative, if the Lakers lose this, it's like...
it's a lose-lose.
It is, because if they lose, it's going to be like, okay, this is 04 Pistons going against Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
That sucked. Like, that team was flawed. That's going to be the narrative if, like... Honestly, if they lose, does AD come back? I don't, probably, but that's still up in the air. You know?
I just don't know where else you'd go.
Chicago, baby. Zach LaVine.
Really?
High pick and roll. No, but that is going to be a thing. Like,
you want it to be in LA. I think it depends. If AD plays out of his mind and they lose, that's one thing. If AD plays like ass and they lose...
Well, I mean, if you're AD, you might just be like, I don't want to deal with it. Like...
Well, I'm saying in terms of public perception.
Yeah, but like if I'm AD, I'll say we lose, I didn't play that well. I can be like, I was in New Orleans, not in the spotlight. I'm gonna do that again. I don't need to deal with this crap. Like expectations, who needs that? So,
but hey, look,
he's getting the national recognition now.
That's what I mean. Narratively, he said he wants this, and. If you go out and play well, but lose, that's one thing, like personally. And then if you decide to leave, okay, you played well, didn't work out in LA, go do it somewhere else. You play bad, or don't play as well as people expect you to, and you leave, kind of looks like you're ducking out.
Yeah, for sure. What's your prediction on the series?
I'm taking Lakers in 6.
I'm taking Lakers in 7. I think it's gonna be a really good series. I'm very excited. Can't wait. Tomorrow night. I need to finish this paper by tomorrow night so I can enjoy the finals.
I need to get off work before 9 o'clock, which isn't happening by tomorrow night.
So, I mean, we've done this in the wrap-ups. You just talked about the UFC a little bit, a little riff. Did you see anything about the Conor McGregor drama?
Just something. No, not. I don't remember what it was. I know there was drama around.
Okay, so
I forget what it was. If once you say it, it's gonna pop back in my head.
He fought in January. He told Dana White, "I want to fight 4 times this year, for sure." But then COVID happened, and Dana White doesn't really want to waste Conor McGregor on one of these no fan things. And this has gone on longer than I think everyone expected.
Yeah.
The whole no fan thing. Back January feels like forever ago, but
it really does.
And then the season ended. We're like, oh, it's gonna end in the summer. It's gonna be a 3-month thing, probably. We're just gonna go on quarantine, lockdown, whatever. Still going on. Looks like it's gonna go on for the foreseeable future. And Dana White, UFC jumped in front of it. They were the first ones to even hold events. They thought this was gonna end a lot earlier. Hold Conor McGregor for live events, but Conor McGregor wants to fight. And my whole thing is win, lose, draw, Conor McGregor will always bring in money. So I don't understand as a company how you can be we're losing all this money when you're just making Conor McGregor sit at home.
You got your moneymaker on the shelf.
Exactly. And then I get this is the reality. Now they're actually going to talk. I think Dana White's come around and be we're going to, we have to make a fight. But then independently, McGregor's been talking to Manny Pacquiao's team.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of this. Manny Pacquiao is world champion at 147. Conor McGregor has said, I'm going to fight for a boxing world title. When he said that, the interviewer was like, so that means you're going to fight a lot in boxing? He goes, no.
I'm just going to go straight
That's
for it.
literally what he said. He's like, no.
I'm just going to go straight for it.
So the problem is that fight would be at 147 if it was going to be for the title. So will Conor McGregor cut down to 147? Who knows? But he's probably going to fight Pacquiao. That fight's going to be insane because Pacquiao's not going to dodge him like Floyd did. But Pacquiao's got power too, so they're just going to be throwing, I think. Just throw.
I thought you were talking about, by drama, I thought you were talking about something else. Wasn't he accused of something?
Oh, no, I wasn't. I mean, he's accused of sexual assault.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking
apparently about. That's completely unfounded. That's actually something
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows anymore, dude? So.
Dude, yeah, all I know is I miss McGregor.
I do too. I mean, that January fight was wild.
I remember when I first moved in with you in Wright, and that was probably his peak.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he wasn't even fighting, and that was... And it just came off that wave.
I was kind of just trashing on him mainly because you...
And I was like, no, watch.
And you showed me the greatness.
That run he had, that 2-year run, is the best of anyone's ever... he was knocking dudes out. That's unmatched. He's always going to be able to hang his hat on that. He's going to be a megastar forever, no matter what, So last weekend, Adesanya versus Paul Costa.
Bodies him in 2 rounds.
Messed him up, bro. I bet on Costa right before the fight. He was plus 200. So I was like, he's an underdog, and I honestly think he might win.
That's pretty close, isn't it?
Plus 200? I mean, close is probably plus... I mean, okay, if it's a pick'em, it's minus 115 each. Both fighters are. But, I mean, by the time the fight started, Adesanya kind of his odds kept getting higher because right before the fight, everyone was betting Adesanya.
Yeah.
And you just forget how big he is. Yeah, he's skinny, but he's just so, imposing.
God. Yeah.
And this is his, 120th professional fight ever. Because he was a big kickboxer before he fought in MMA. And kickboxers, they fight every month. Like they just keep churning him out, and he's just so precise. You could just tell Paulo Costa thought, I'm going to start throwing, but then he got bopped a couple times, like because he was just going wild and miss. He was like, if I go in and I miss, I'm probably going to get knocked out. It got to that point.
Really?
Like, Adesanya's just so precise.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, he's just so fast.
TFTI.
I just watched it I was literally in bed.
No, I'm just
I was naked in the covers.
I'm pretty sure I was conky.
Probably. It was like almost 1 when they fought. But yeah, it's crazy. Adesanya is so good. Probably the next McGregor level. Like I get
Is he ever gonna lose?
Yeah.
Doc tweeted something about
Doctor Disrespect?
Yeah, about Adesanya. I don't remember exactly what it said, but he said something about him like being 30-0.
He's nuts, bro.
Like he'll be 30-0, like defend his title for that long.
Which is crazy because he's not super young because he got into MMA late because of kickboxing, but everyone just keeps wanting to throw with him. I don't know why.
They want it.
I think he's gonna fight John Jones eventually because they've always talked about that.
What weight class is he?
He's 185. John Jones is 205.
Would have to come down, or would he go up?
I think he'd go up. But good segue there, Roach. John Jones vacated the 205 belt. This Jan from Poland, just knocked out Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, super close fight with John Jones. This Polish dude comes in, murks him, and then it leaves you thinking, what would happen if he fought John Jones? Because John Jones and this other dude were so close.
Is John Jones ever going to fight again?
He's going to fight Brock Lesnar at heavyweight.
Is that what you think?
Not officially, but
I was going to say
that's gonna happen. Because Brock Lesnar isn't with the WWE anymore. That finally ended. If I'm David Cormier, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I was champion. We could have done this like a year ago. But
Rip DC.
Rip DC, dude. He's always gotten the short end of the stick. And I've always liked him, but at the end of the day, if Daniel Cormier is fighting, it's not going to bring in as much as John Jones. That's just the reality. So
it's the way the cookie crumbles.
John Jones versus this Polish dude for the title's an option. He wants to fight Brock. He wanted to fight Ngannou, but I don't think Dana White wants to make that because Ngannou probably rips him in half.
Ngannou's massive.
So you want to get some John Jones at heavyweight money before. So it's probably Stipe Ngannou and then Brock John Jones. Winner of Brock John Jones probably faces the winner of Ngannou. Miocic. So yeah, there's a little MMA corner for you. Nice, quick and easy.
Nice quickie.
So, I mean, speaking of quickie, this pod's been pretty quickie.
I feel like it's been pretty quick. We're about to check how long it's been. It's going to be like an hour and a half.
It's going to be hour 47 down there. You see that?
That's how long it's been?
Yep. So that's been the Untitled Podcast this week.
This cannot be real.
Dude, there's gain on it. You just killed Schmill. Schmill's having a stroke. So that's enough this week from the Untitled Podcast. See ya.
Peace.